going to make some cables now. In this video, we'll be doing a tutorial on how to make Fender style reverb tank cables. I'm talking about these guys right here. Almost looks like a duck. So these things are pretty cool, actually. That's part of the old school design of a Fender guitar amplifier. So we're just going to make some. First, parts. So the first thing is the cable itself. This is it. I got this from Next Generation Guitars. You can pick this up pretty much anywhere you want. But this is a shielded cable with a braided sheath on it without any insulation on the outside. It's the stuff Fender used, and it's unique. It's kind of cool, so I'm going to use it. The next thing is the plugs themselves. So that's what these guys are. These are standard Switchcraft RCA plugs. You can get them kind of anywhere. You could go to DigiKey, you could go to Mauser, any electronics dealer, and that's what they look like, just like that. So that edge is for soldering, and it's got a hole on the far side for you to solder the lead wire into. The first thing that you want to do is to prepare the end of the wire. And I use a pick to remove the shield by placing it between the threads, just pulling it up just gently while it exposes the conductor underneath. As soon as you have the lead wire exposed at a good length, next thing you want to do is strip off the insulation. So grab your strippers and put them on there and just take off a chunk off the end. I usually like to do a good 1/2 inch so I have a lot of connectivity in there. Now you want to twist this together and then tin it so it's guaranteed that the solder to flow in there and make contact. At this point, what I like to do is I like to hold the braided wire with my little helping hands there. Then I take the plug and insert it over top. And then what I do after that is I take the braid over top like that, kind of make it so it makes good contact or a good exposed area all the way around the plug. And then I cut that braid because you don't want it flopping off over the top. Makes for a really ugly solder joint if you don't have this trimmed right away right now. So in order to solder something this mechanical properly, I got to tell you about my secret weapon. This stuff. This is flux. This is pure rosin flux in a little squeegee tube. And how you deal with this is you just squirt a little bit just around the thing you're trying to solder, and that aids your soldering dramatically. It aids in heat transfer, aids in solder transfer, just makes the entire process that much easier. This stuff is the crack cocaine of soldering. Now before I solder the braid on there, I like to get the center conductor first, and that way the center conductor holds the whole thing rigid while I solder the braid. So you just get your iron, you apply some heat, and you let it get hot, good 4 or 5 seconds, holding it on there. And apply some solder, and it should flow down the pipe. Now, since you tinned that wire, you won't have any trouble getting the solder to adhere to it. So it's very important that you tin it first. Clip off the end, and you're done. So here we go. So I have it clamped in my helping hands there. You get your flux. Put it on over top. Just a little dab will do you. You don't need very much of this stuff. I seem to be putting on just a little bit more than just a little dab there. And get some solder. Tin the tip of your iron. And wait for it. Apply a little bit of heat. And that solder will flow beautifully over the braid and over the end of that plug because of the flux. The flux just really helps it solder very well. So this is great and all, but we're not done. You have to make sure that this thing works. And for that, I've got this. So what we do is we take our cable, find the appropriate jack on your tester that works. Here we have phono on this side, and we have phono on this side. So I know I have no shorts between the wires, otherwise these two lights would be on. And I know I have a conductive path because these two lights are on. So this actually tests the ground, and that tests the center pin. If this light is on, then that conductor is working correctly. And that's it. Perfectly soldered, traditional Fender Reverb tank bag cables.